and I will start on our presentation. So to begin with, this is the ONECA Transitions Project, and I'm not sure if everybody has heard of the organization of ONECA. It's the Ontario Native Education Counseling Association. And maybe even before we begin into that PowerPoint, I'll just read a quick blurb about what ONECA and the organization is. So the organization of ONECA was incorporated in 1985, and it's founded upon principles that recognize that although a variety of counseling and educational tools and programs exist in Ontario, the development of Native communities requires tools and programs designed specifically to improve Native counseling and education services. So that's a little bit about the parent organizations that came up with this project for transitions. So we'll jump back into our presentation here. So just very quickly to introduce myself, I believe in the webinar window you're able to see my mug. So my name is John Jones. I've started with the Transitions Project in Phase 2. We're now almost completing Phase 3. So I've been with the project and the organization now for almost a year and a half. And my primary role is to maintain the website, social media, assist in research with the project, and any other technical type of information and that sort of thing. Next, on the webinar we have Cynthia Wynn, who is our transitions coordinator. Unfortunately, Cynthia is in the process of losing her voice. So she won't be able to answer your questions over the microphone, but feel free, she'll be moderating, helping to moderate the chat window and keeping an eye on that. So if there's any questions or anything that you have during the presentation, feel free to use that chat window. I won't be able to see the chat window with questions until we actually finish the PowerPoint. So the PowerPoint's not too long, but just keep that in mind. So we'll move on to the next here. So very quickly, what I have here is our steering committee for our transitions project. And I believe everybody on our steering project has been here since I started. So Cindy Fisher was the president at the time of the ONECA board. She is still sitting on our steering committee as a past president. Roger Chum also sat on the original steering committee, and he is now our ONECA board president. We also have Rayanne Hill-Beauchamp, who's our secretary, as well as Roxanne Manitowabi, who is our ONECA executive director. So a little bit of what you can expect over the next few minutes. I'd like to provide a little bit of our transitions project overview and then cover some of our project highlights and talk about what we've been working on for Phase 3. We're very close to releasing the materials that we've been working on for this phase. So a little bit about the project overview. So I've told you the organization of ONECA had been around for quite a while, and they've long since recognized some of the academic struggles that FNMI students are going through. So to that end, a project they came up with was to hold some focus groups on how best they could support the students. And I'll talk a little bit more about how those focus groups came to be, but ultimately, in addition, what was found out of those focus groups, literature review and survey, was there were a few key issues that were impacting FNMI academic success. One of those areas identified was that of transitions as being a major problem area. So transition being one stage of your educational journey to the next. So from elementary to secondary, from secondary to post-secondary. So that in-between phase was quite a cause for concern. So we've done considerable work in that area, and that's the basis of kind of how we've organized our materials. What we've come up with as a result of that work is it's culminated in a website for our transitions project. We've got a host of printed materials, videos, toolkits, translated documents, and we've also started offering information sessions. So if you're looking for an information session on the materials that we have available and the work that we've done, that is something that we offer as well. So a little bit of the timeline here. In 2010, one of the primary people working on this was Dr. Pam Toulouse. She's now at Laurentian University. So what she did was compile this document, Walk in Our Moccasins. This document is still available, but this really set the foundation for all of the work that we've done since. So what she did was coordinate focus groups at a host of different sites throughout Ontario with educational counselors and students, as well as instructors. And she also did a literature review and then sent out a survey as well. And then compile all of those things into this study, Walk in Our Moccasins. So this was back in 2010. What came the next year was the need for a little bit more focus in the area of post-secondary supports. So what we had was an Aboriginal Student Transitions Project document that we created, and it was more focused on how could we best support post-secondary students, as well as a companion document for that Student Transitions Project web-based resources document. So in that, you would find a host of links to many different places, resources that post-secondary students could access. You'll find many of those are actually on or embedded in our website. So I mentioned a little bit about what our concept for transitions was, and I really like this. I'll talk a little bit about the logo that was created in the first part of our transitions. So you can see here that we have the circle divided into four. We have the four colors there, and then what we have is the infinity symbol for Métis, the Inukshuk for Inuit, and then the eagle feather representing First Nations. And then the tie between all of this is the scroll representing education. So this has been our logo that we had created as part of our phase 1 of our transitions project. So what you can see here, I really like the format that this is in here. You can see where different stages of the educational journey. While a student may not follow all of these to the T, I think it's a good representation of the journey that many would take for that. So we've actually organized much of our materials as well into these separate transitional stages. So elementary, secondary, post-secondary, work, home. As I said, it's possible that somebody could go from post-secondary to home, go from the home maybe back to post-secondary. So, but that'll give you a good idea of the original concept that we had outlined and put into place. The other way that I really like how the information is organized on the website is that we've sectioned it off into particular groups. So we've made it accessible if you're a counselor visiting our website or you're looking at our brochures. You can actually pull the brochures that are relevant to counselors, and we've organized the information such that it would be applicable to your group. So if you're a general community member and you're wondering how can you best support and facilitate FNMI success in your community, we've also organized our information available accordingly. So that's kind of representative of how we've organized much of our information. And moving on, so phase 1 of our transitions project was actually the creation of our transitions website. So I've taken a picture. I've since added many new sections to it. But the basic concept, this will give you a feel for it. And the second part of the webinar, I'll take you through a quick demonstration of our website as well. Excuse me. So the first part of our project, we actually had the website, and then we also developed a toolkit. In this toolkit were 6 brochures, 5 posters, info sheets, and videos, along with we also had a memory stick which included community profiles and those 2 documents that I just talked about, the Aboriginal Student Transitions Project and then the web-based resource document as well. So that was phase 1 of our project. And I came on in phase 2 of our project. So the first part of our phase 2 of our project was people asking for parental engagement, or recognizing that parental engagement was another pretty big area that would really help FNMI student success. So to that end, we came out with some brochures and posters for that. And then the next thing that we had was remote to urban transition. So some of our membership in our northern regions said we really liked what you created in phase 1. However, many of our students face additional and different challenges. So we listened, and we ended up making a few visits up north to a few different places, and what came out of that was another set of posters, brochures. We also made a set of 5 additional videos being up there, speaking to counselors, instructors, and students, and those are available on our website. As well, with phase 2, we added 2 more information sheets. One was funding your education, and I believe the other one was staying healthy. So again, all of these you can grab off of or view on our website. The other big part that we did was translating our phase 1 documents. So all of our phase 1 documents were translated into Ojibwe, Oji-Cree, and French. And then another area that came to light was our role models. It was recognized that many of our students lacked sufficient role model information. So to that end, we created, I believe it's a set of 10 posters. So these represent education counselors, sometimes instructors, basically just role models that the students could look to for success. So those, again, you can, I'll take you through that and show you those real quick on our website as well. And, excuse me. This one, I actually have a video that I usually like to show, but you're probably not going to be able to view it so well online. So I'll hold that, and maybe when you're checking out our website later on by yourself, you can run that from our website. I know we're probably going to run into problems with me trying to run a video inside of my PowerPoint presentation. So I'll let you check that out on our website later. So on our transitions website, we have some things right up front. So I'll just read some of those out, so again we can set the proper stage for this. Transitions, as we see them, are passages from one stage to another. Here we speak of transitions between the stages on a student's educational journey. And then the purpose of this site is to help First Nation, Métis, and Inuit students with their transitions from one educational stage to the next. So that you can view that right on our website, but it really speaks to, I think, what we had in mind when we were putting this project together and posting that information. So some of the highlights, I've talked to some of those, but just a quick recap then. So phase 1 of our transitions project was launched May 2012, and this consisted of the website and toolkit. Phase 2, we did some translations. We added parental engagement, remote to urban, a few more information sheets, and then what we did was we distributed the phase 1 toolkits to 131 First Nation communities. Somebody had asked the question where these were distributed in our previous webinar, and I believe it was sent to the attention of the administration, which would be Chief and Council. So if anybody had that question, that's the answer. Phase 3, so taking a look at what we've been working on for this particular phase, and as I said, we've already received some of our materials. We're just waiting for the rest of our materials to become available in Phase 3. They should be, everything should be available in the next week or so. What we've done is translation of the Phase 2 documents to French and Ojibwe this time. Secondary to post-secondary education and training, we're much more emphasis on that. We've got a sheet around budgeting, a sheet that students can use when they're heading off to post-secondary. We've got a couple more topics here: coping with stress with traditional methods, personal safety, and then Cynthia right now is working on or finalizing facilitator guides for transitional materials. So again, some of the feedback that we've received is people like the materials that we have, but they're just not quite sure how to use those where they're working or in their communities. So Cynthia is creating facilitator guides to help be able to use the materials that we've assembled. And I think that's just about it for the presentation, my quick PowerPoint presentation. And then what we've got, I've just got here, if you want to send further questions, you can send those to Cynthia at cwin@oneca.com or myself. You'll also receive a link or an email message once we complete this webinar. Please, if you have any feedback, positive or negative, we'd like to hear it so that we can improve for the next time. And I think that's about it. So I'm going to just check back into the chat window there now and see if we run into any issue. Failing that, I will bring you through a quick demonstration of our website. But I'm seeing now we have 10 chat comments, so I'm hoping there was no issue. I think that I can hear Cynthia, so I'm not sure, is anybody not able to see the chat window? I should ask that before I run through. Okay, so during my it looks like there's been some conversation going on in the chat window. So if everybody has been able to see the chat window, and it was really just talking about some of the materials that have been available, no problem. If anybody wants me to go through and actually repeat what's been going on in the chat window, just let me know, and I can do that. So is there any questions on the presentation itself, or sorry, the PowerPoint that I had? And if not, then I think what I'm going to move to next is a quick demonstration of our website. Going once, going twice. I hope I'm still using my outside voice as well, and that everybody can hear me fine. Looks like we've got a full boat there now too, so great. I hope everybody was able to log in and is hearing me properly. Awesome. Thanks, Christine. She said she can hear me fine. So my outside voice is holding up, but I can start to hear me starting to crack. So I will move on to the next stage if there are no further questions. So I'm going to move now into a quick demonstration of our transitions website. Excuse me, I can feel my throat getting dry. You'd think I would be used to this. Okay, so the first thing that I would like to do is take you through our website, our transitions website, and that's the URL or address for that is oneca.com//transitions/. So what we've got here is our landing page, and we've got links to our social media. We've got Facebook, Twitter, and our YouTube. Many of our transitions videos are hosted. They're all hosted on our YouTube channel now. So what I'm hoping to do is continue on with delivering more webinars, and we can continue to make some of those webinars available on our YouTube channel as well. Scrolling down a little bit, we've got a link to one of the projects that we've had additionally when we've been working on this transitions project is First Nations Health Career. So we've had somebody actually create a whole bunch of information, and we've embedded that into this particular website. So for any students considering a career in First Nations Health Career, FNMI Health Careers, we've got a host of information available for that as well. There's a link and logo link for that. The next section here on the home page is just a listing of some of the latest things. So sometimes I will actually create links. They will take you into the ONECA side. What we've got here is the 4 Directions Scholarship winners we've announced recently. So there's a link to that. There's a link to the people who won that. We've got pictures available for most of them. The Aboriginal Post-Secondary Information Program. So that's a program that works pretty closely with potential post-secondary students. So we've got a link to their website as well. And then just scrolling down here, I generally feature a video, and I try and change this up every couple of weeks. But this particular one is on our phase 2, and it's talking about student notes. So it's basically remote students talking about their experience. So some great stuff, I think. I was part of the actual creation of those. So I actually conducted the interviews for that. Somebody else much more talented than I actually finalized and created those videos. So we've got finally a testimonial here. And the next thing I think that I'm going to just talk about briefly is the links here at the top. So in part of my PowerPoint presentation, I mentioned if you want to learn a little bit more about transitions, you can click on the About Transition link. It'll tell you a little bit about, a little bit more maybe about how our project came to be, what was some of the beginnings of it. Hopefully I've been able to cover that a little bit for you. But the next piece that I wanted to touch on again was the group that you're coming in as. So if you are a parent or guardian, you have a student, FNMI student, then you can actually click on the link for parents or guardians. Maybe you're an education counselor. Chances are, I think we have mostly education counselors. So in that case, we can click on that particular tab, and we can scroll down here and see what we've tried to lay out here then is some of the best practices. So if you're a counselor that works primarily in elementary school, you might be interested in the preschool to elementary transition. If you're post-secondary, you'd be interested probably more in the post-secondary link. And then scrolling down here, we've assembled, there is a lot of information in here. So the reason why I'm going through this is I know the amount of pages and information that are available. So if you're looking at, for example, career planning tools for education counselors, click on this tab, you can see that we've got a host of different things that we've put together. Canlearn.ca, Career Cruising User's Guide 2011. So you may be aware of a whole bunch of these, but maybe as well there would be some things here that would complement what you're already doing with the students. Here's a new listing, Hack College Career Services. So you can actually take a look at the careers in your field, look at some of the latest industry trends, etc. And then I'm just going to move back real quickly. And the other thing that I'd like to show you, so we're once again here on the Education Counselors tab. If we scroll right to the bottom of the page, get through all of the best practices, now we get to additional resources. So we actually have a brochure. I believe this was our phase 1 brochure for an introduction of transitions. So you are available to get this stuff in electronic formats. However, if you're looking for some of these brochures in actual print format, you can order those from our organization. So scrolling down here again, here's some information sheets that are available. Here's one on staying healthy. I think this was done as part of our phase 2. So if we click in there, you can start to get a little bit of a feel. There's our logo. It should have a similar look and feel to all of the materials that we've created as part of our project. So a few things we've listed: nurture your mind, body, and spirit. Choose healthy lifestyle habits that allow you to exercise. So you can start to get a sense for what those sheets look like. We're very happy with our graphic designer who put these together, and hopefully, as I said, they would complement what you're already doing. Next, so as I said, there's just a lot of information in there, and the trick is really getting to be able to find out and to navigate. I think many people, they might be aware that some of this is here, but there's just so much information that it can be a little tough to see where all of this information is. So I'm just taking a few minutes to go over that. Next, I think I'll take a quick look at the left menu. So you can see down to post-secondary to home from the top. Those were all of our phase 1 projects. So they take a little different look. If you're concerned with the actual transition from elementary to secondary, for example, you could click right on that menu item. Role models, this was a phase 2 item. So if I click on the role models tab, I'm presented with a host of different posters. Some you might recognize in there. We've got our lifetime member there. We've got some members of our board. Here is our previous president of our ONECA board, Cindy Fisher. She's the education director for her First Nation. And it was kind of nice doing a visit up north. I was able to actually see a lot of these posters they had posted right in the elementary school. So that was kind of nice to see. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the entire set of posters is available for $10. Or actually for $5. So there you go, and that includes shipping. And what else did I want to touch on? I think we're just about wrapped up, but also there's a few other things. Parental engagement, remote to urban. I talked about the First Nations health careers. So just scrolling down a little bit, you can start to see the breadth of information that's actually in here. Health careers by category, there's a whole bunch of different, organized similarly to how we've organized groupings within our transition site. Post-secondary resources, career guidance, and then very quickly, our store. So if anybody is interested, we actually do have web advertising available. It's not the purpose of this webinar, but if you are interested in that, we do have that available. You can see these sliding banners scrolling across the top. Contact me if you're interested in that. But as you can see, we scroll down here, we've got an order form on our website. We've got our different toolkits, poster series, some of our other documents that we put together. Those are all available on our store link of the transition site. The other thing I think you might be of interest or interested in is our video resources menu. So on this particular tab, I'll just give that a second there. It's pulling up all the information from YouTube that we've got these videos on our channel. And it's just taking a minute to do that. So there we go. So we should start to get a picture here through very shortly. And I think we're good. So phase 1, you can see titled up here, Transitions from Preschool to Elementary. Early years are key. And then as we scroll down, there's Dr. Pamela Toulouse in one of the other videos. And there's Melanie, post-secondary video. And then as we scroll right down to the bottom, we've got Remote to Urban series. We've got another 5 videos there as well. So hopefully you can start to get a sense for some of the information that is available. I think some of these videos could be used to help spur some discussion, possibly if you're in the classroom, if you're delivering talks on how you can better support FNMI students. And then finally, I think the last thing that I'm going to touch on for this, I think we're doing pretty good for time, 30 minutes in. Our transitions team. So there's contact information on our contact page of our transitions. There's a picture of Roxanne, our administrative assistant, Daniela, Dr. Pamela Toulouse. She's available. As I said, she's at Laurentian University, but she had a big part to play in the original transitions project itself. And Cynthia and myself's contact information. And I think that is as much as I wanted to cover. So I guess at this point, I want to thank everybody again. I know that you've all got very busy schedules. So I guess at this point, I'll open it up. It looks like I see some chat discussion that was going on in the windows. So hopefully, Cynthia has been able to answer all of your questions, but I'd certainly like to give the opportunity. Is there any questions right now that that people would like to ask at this point? Maybe I'll just go, since I've said that, maybe I'll just buzz through some of the comments here. So Christine loves this and would share it with her team. Thank you. Thank you for taking time today, Christine. That's terrific. That's what we like to hear. Anybody else? If there's no other questions, that is as much information I think as we wanted to share with you today. As I said, myself or Cynthia is available if you have further questions. We'd be more than happy to answer your questions. Okay, well, you almost had a question there I think that we could share. Also, you're going to receive a feedback, an opportunity for feedback in an email from this webinar. So please, if you have any feedback you'd like to provide or questions that you would like or further information in a certain area, please feel free to provide that information, and we'll make sure that we get any questions or queries that you might have done. Awesome. Thanks, Bill. Bill will be returning. Great to hear. So I think we had, Melanie had a question. Do you have tips on how to present it to principals and teachers? Good question. And Cynthia has responded to that in the chat window and saying that the facilitator guides will include workshop ideas. All right, so it looks like we're getting some other opportunities here for information sharing and anything else. So I think Cynthia at this point is probably doing a better job than I am of answering questions. So I think I'm going to conclude the recording part, and I'll just leave it open. I'll leave the meeting open a little bit longer.